Hi, and welcome to Moviefone Unscripted. I'm M. Night Shyamalan, and this is Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Lisa. The idea for this film came from a bedtime story you told your children. How did it evolve into a feature film? That's a good question.
That's a tough question. That's a long answer. So it started, I told the kids the story, and then I told it to them again after we talked about it a lot, so it got deeper and deeper and more complicated. And then I said, wow, this would be a fun subject for a movie. And so I thought about it, and then when I scripted it, the main character, Paul, played by Paul Giamatti, hears this bedtime story. And then
who does he hear it from?
He hears it from all the apartment building, but in particular this Korean family that tells it as an old ancient bedtime story. And so, and then he has to decide whether he believes in this story or not, and whether your character is maybe someone that's in this story. So that's how it kind of slowly evolved, and then it became scarier and scarier. I first said, okay, it's just for kids, then it got scarier and scarier and scarier, and now I'd say tough 8-year-old could come to it.
But didn't both your girls see it?
Both girls saw it. The 9-year-old was not as scared, but the 6-year-old was terrified. So six is a little young. Yeah. This is from Shannon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hi, Shannon.
What is a narf?
So a narf, oh God, that's really a question for you. Well, so a narf is a totally imagined mythological creature by you. The best way to describe her, I think, would be that she's like a water nymph. She's not a mermaid. She's a water nymph. And she's like an angel. I don't know. What do you want to add to that?
It was pretty good. She's like
I mean, like, I'm just like the basics. That's like the rudimentary description of her.
A mythical sea nymph, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's true, though. Not a mermaid. That whole thing is a little tired.
Made tired by my pops. Okay. This is a nice question. So Cindy from Kansas City, Missouri. How do you create such amazing thrillers while showing so little violence on screen?
You know, I just find that it stays with you more if you use the audience is interacting more, if it's more of a interactive thing where they give more, where they're participating more, then they take it away. After the movie's done, it stays with them, it lingers with them. I mean, like they're shaken when they go home, and it's part of their lives because they were so involved. It was a give and take with me and them, as opposed to me doing the whole thing. You know, so I show them the violence. That means they can just not participate. They can just stand back and watch it, and so they don't really get that involved. You know, they can jump and things like that, but the less you show, the more that they have to participate, and then they take that home with them.
So I find my imagination, and like most people's imagination, is so much more powerful often than what's seen, because once you see it, then you understand it, and you can deal with it, and you can process it. But if you imagine something that's like terrifying, you go into your own history and like what is the most terrifying scenario, and it gets created. It's from Deborah in Abington, Pennsylvania, your next door neighbor. You shot this film in sequence. Does this make shooting easier or more difficult for the cast and crew?
Shooting in sequence makes it easier for the cast and more difficult for the crew. So if we were shooting in this set, and it's scene number 7 and scene number 42, we go shoot it in scene 7, and to shoot in sequence means we leave it. All these lights pack up and we leave, and we go and do with all the rest scenes, and we come back on scene 52 and we put the lights back, put the cameras back, and remember what it was like, and try to do it all over again, you know? And so it creates a lot of unnecessary busy work for everyone, and it can get really tedious, and if you're behind, that extra busy work can actually affect the quality of what you're doing. So it's a balancing act, you know. Usually it ends up costing a good deal more, you know. When I say a good deal more, maybe like $500,000 or something like that, or $1 million, depending on the movie, to shoot in order, to do that, to take the crew out, take the crew in, and all that stuff. And you just have to weigh whether the integrity of what you're gaining is worth that, considering the overall budget.
Because with Unbreakable, you shot like frame to frame, like exactly.
Yeah, Unbreakable was literally in order from like the train all the way to the end, to the last shot.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it was hard.
How do you feel, because like I worked with a director once he shot one film completely the way that you did Unbreakable, and then he felt almost it gave too much too much power to the actors. Like it made them totally in charge of the film and like the arc of the film, whereas then in his next film he shot things completely out of sequence because then he knew where the performances needed to go, and the actors were just a little off center and he could guide them, and they just knew that they needed to trust him. I mean, do you feel like there's any
validity
truth
in that?
Yeah.
Not for me, but what does, I think the negative for me would be if we shot in order, that would be we could suffer things being mundane because everyone's going so linearly, you know, so clearly making one choice and sticking to it. I'm angry through this part of the movie, so I'm going to be angry, you know, and maybe that's not quite, you know, complicated enough.
Right.
And so it could make simpler choices, which could be good, could be bad, but it'll certainly give you less choices in the editing room and performance. I think somewhat in order is probably the best, but not crazily in order, so that every now and then you're throwing a little loop so that everyone has to be spontaneous a bit.
But I like what you do a lot is that you like the big scenes, the really important high stakes emotional scenes. Like you shot the ending of this film like at the end.
Yes.
And the beginning of this film at the beginning. And that creates a wonderful arc. And then within that there's like some playing there, which I think is really nice.
What was your best acting scene in Lady in the Water, from your point of view?
Wait, what do you mean by best?
Like when you thought, like, I nailed it.
Oh, God.
There must have been someone where you're like, yeah. Come on.
I don't know. I can't even think.
If I said worst, I know you'd go, okay.
Yeah, I know. You remember, there was a moment where it's that shot in the trailer with like the one chick, and I only knew that I nailed it because you came up afterwards and you were like, good going, and that like would never happen.
I knew you'd say that. That's not even in the movie.
What do you mean?
It's not in the movie anymore.
Are you kidding me?
Your best moment.
Thanks a lot, Knight.
Okay, the best moment that's in the movie. No,
thanks for doing that.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. I'll put it on the DVD.
Yeah, put it on the DVD.
It'll be in the extras
with the
on the
stomach
DVD.
scene. Is the stomach scene in the movie?
No, I'm sorry, that's out of the
There's
movie.
a scene that I did like 600 sit-ups for, and he cut it out of the movie.
It was like her stomach, and Paul Giamatti's in the background talking, and
the whole scene is like a stomach.
And she had like sucked it. She like,
I went to the makeup artist. I'm like, can you give me some definition?
That was like the first scene that was like.
Not because of the stomach.
No, it was all good. It was all good.
Mike from Salt Lake, Utah. You do cameos in all of your movies. Where will we see you in Lady in the Water?
You know, I actually don't like the idea of doing cameos. It's not my thing, you know. I've done a few that would be termed that way only simply because of outside situations. Signs was really the first time that I did what I wanted to do and played a part that was important to the movie, important to the story. And The Village, because all you guys were white, I couldn't really be in it, which is a bummer. So
you made it up, man. I
mean, you sound like an Indian hanging around. It would probably throw the whole thing off. So I couldn't be in that one too much. So that was an outside force. But that was the story. So, but in Lady, I have a decent sized part, a good part, you know, and it's a really important role for me. I kind of play. I don't want to give it away, but an important link and an important part of the chain, and very important to your character too. And it was really kind of a beautiful thing for me because it was like, you know, out of the 100-some scenes, I was in 20, and that was about the limit that I could handle as a director.
Mr. Heap, tell her to stop annoying me.
I fixed the light.
I'll make you dinner, Mr. Heap, thank you.
We're both cooks?
Who, him? He can't cook. He's banned from the kitchen.
Well, you know what's so great about you doing that in your films is because I remember you once telling me that you started out almost as an actor, and then you were an actor who was writing, and then an actor and a writer who was directing, and then it all shifted over.
Right.
Would you ever make a comedy?
This is very funny, this movie. It is. It's very funny.
No, but like a full-out comedy.
Just like, you know, Wedding Crashers movie.
Not Wedding Crashers, but like, you know, your
the Fockers.
comedy. Is your comedy this?
I love laughter. It's a difficult thing with what I do because the thriller and the mystery stuff, it's a delicate balance with comedy because comedy empties the tank and then you're no longer scared. But if you do it just right, it can be, you build the tank with fear, and then let everybody laugh it out, and everybody feels like one, like a big group together, like, that was funny. Yeah, we're okay, everybody's okay, and they all a little touchstone with everybody.
Yeah.
Just a flat-out comedy, it's hard because the things that are important, like supernatural or spiritual or emotional. They don't necessarily fit with a broad comedy or
Right,
something like
yeah.
that. But I like to do elements of everything.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good.
Okay, so you do it. I did the intro. Go ahead.
To this camera? Okay. Thanks to Moviefone. Thank you for writing your questions and sending them in and thinking about them. And
Cut. I didn't believe that.
Stop it.
Wait,
Okay.
no,
Oh my
do it
God.
Again. Do it
Okay.
again. Sincere. Sincere. This is one of your friends that are there.
Okay.
Okay, you haven't. You see, she just saw her. She came from college. You were really close.
Why don't you show me kind of what
no,
you
no,
want
go
to say?
ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
Thank you, Moviefone. Night, I can't do this. No, thank you very much. Thank you for thinking about all of these questions and sending them in to us. And I hope we gave you good answers and things that are fun for you to listen to. And please go and see the movie and please enjoy.
Although there was some sing-songy quality to her voice there, and there was moments of insincerity, overall, I know as a director that she was genuinely feeling grateful for what you've done.
Thank you.
And I would like to second that, so thank you.
I get
very
nervous
much.
during press, okay? That's the reason, because I'm nervous during press.
This is where you give that look to the camera, the star look, and
What's
then you
the
just look
star?
down. That come hither look, and then you look down.
That's not in me.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks.
They were like flying by. They were all the questions. We were missing them all. My eye was like, oh man.
This is really...
We were just getting to some good stuff, I think.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Oh yeah, it's an advertisement for Fiji. You didn't know about my big contract that I just signed with them?
During the interview.